welcome to my channel. My name is Hannah and let's talk Père Lachaise Cemetery. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for quite a while now, actually. I really fell in love with this cemetery when I first moved here, and it's actually been since 2018 since I actually visited. But basically the whole point of this video is just a walk with me through the cemetery. I ended up being there for about 2 hours and it didn't quite go according to plan. I had brought this old camera that used to be my dad's as well as my phone, and by the time I was to the second famous grave I had intended to see, the batteries were almost dead. So then I had to use my phone, which doesn't have a lot of space, so I had to be very careful with what I was filming. So that was a bit of a bummer, but as you'll see, I still was able to record quite a bit of my visit. So before we jump into it, I just wanted to give a few facts about the cemetery just to kind of let you know what we're getting into here. So this is the largest cemetery in Paris. I wouldn't be surprised if it was the largest in France, but it is also the most visited in the world, which I thought that was actually kind of surprising. But I mean, the reason for that I feel is pretty obvious as well. It is located in the 20th arrondissement, which is not anywhere close to the center of the city. I'll pop a map up here actually so you can kind of see where that is in relation to the rest of the city. So the literal translation of Père Lachaise, it's Father the Chair, which I actually think is more funny than it probably should be, but it is named after a person. It is named after a Jesuit priest. His name was Père François de Lachaise, and he was what is called the father confessor to King Louis XIV, which I actually had to look up what that is, although I thought I had an idea and I was actually right. You know how in Catholicism, people will confess their sins to a priest? That is what he was for the king. So he knew all the dirty secrets of the king. But he lived where the chapel in the cemetery now stands. So Père Lachaise actually opened in 1804, which is actually way later in time than I expected. I really thought it was going to be 1600s or 1700s. But when it opened, there was actually only 13 graves. There's only 13 people buried there, which actually, now that I think about it, the number 13, that's kind of appropriate. But when it first opened, pretty much no one wanted to be buried there because it isn't in the center of Paris. People felt it was way too far outside the city, although it's still in the city proper, but I mean, map lines were probably a little different back then. However, the city ended up moving the graves of Jean de La Fontaine, who is one of the most famous French writers. He did fables and poetry, and they also moved Molière. And after they did that, it was a marketing ploy. It was completely a marketing ploy that they did this. And after they did that, people were pretty much jumping over each other to be buried there, which is quite morbid. It obviously worked based on how popular it is today and considering it's known for all the famous people that are buried there. And today there are actually over 1 million people buried there, which is pretty insane to think about. So pretty much this is quite a unique place with all kinds of different architecture for the graves and tombs and everything. To me, it is so beautiful. I love walking through cemeteries. I think they are such gorgeous places that really have such a history and tell such a story. And so they really appeal to me. And I have definitely not even fully walked Père Lachaise. I was barely on the left side of this place at all. I mainly stuck to the right and the back. So there's so much I still haven't even seen, even though I've probably been in there for 8 hours total. So going into this, there were several famous graves I definitely wanted to hit up, but there were some where looking through the footage later, I would look up a name and be okay, this is one I should probably add on as well. But I was not gonna look up every name I saw and came across, so I'm sure there are some people that I've missed. But I am going to have all the timestamps for when the famous graves show up down below. And I'm also going to include a Google Drive folder link so you can see all the pictures that I took on this trip as well. I am not going to talk through this video. I tried to keep it as straight up as possible. So all of the sounds, the leaves crunching beneath my feet, you can hear all of that. However, there were several moments where the wind was so loud, I 100% had to cut it out. And so I think I am gonna have a bit of music, just very low. It's just so during those moments, it's not just complete silence. But watching through this, I actually found it very, very calming. And so I hope it can do the same for you. So enjoy. do I get out of here? I don't think I'm walking in the right spot. How the heck do I get out of here? Okay, looks like I can go this way. Oh gosh, another broken one. I really just love going to cemeteries and looking at the architecture of the tombs. You really see some gorgeous stuff. Also, I have no idea where I am in here right now. You can see there's multiple levels.
Can see how hilly this place is, my goodness. Crunch.
Here. No, security card.
That is so disgusting. Jesus.
Je crois que la tombe elle est de ce côté.
Sur la vitre. Je me repère plus du tout. Attends.
Currently trying to make my way back more toward the front of the cemetery. It is so easy to kind of like lose your way in here, so I actually have a map on my phone. Also Google Maps would probably help, but been able to hit up all of the graves I've been looking for so far. Only one or two more left, I think.